That's how I feel recording this video right now, because this is the video, for those of you that followed along the saga of me trying to recover the lost video file, that I filmed, edited, and then didn't export whilst deleting the file off the memory card, deleting the file from the folder on the computer, and then emptying the bin, so it was totally lost. And I couldn't bear the thought to have wasted all that time filming and editing and just like wasting it. So I spent another 4 hours trying to recover the file, which was basically quantum physics, and none of it worked. And here we are, re-recording the same video. And ironically enough, I was pretty animated when I was recording that video, and I'm just going to be double animated now because the topic I'm going to talk about really annoys me, as well as the fact that I'm just bloody repeating myself.
Ooh, you're hard.
Today I'm going to help you never miss a session again, and this is something that I'm helping a lot of my clients with right now, because obviously we're into summer and there's loads of plans coming on, as well as just life generally being busy, working full-time jobs and such. And as far as I'm concerned, being too busy isn't an excuse for missing sessions regular. And I'm going to just highlight to you how you shouldn't just be missing sessions just because you're a little bit more busy than normal. And also I'm going to show you actual solutions of how you can just be organised, fit training in, and just stop making bullshit excuses and making life harder for yourself to actually get your sessions in. As a mark of respect for me not just sacking this video off and actually making sure that I'm getting it to you, please make sure that you like the video and subscribe. I'm obviously massive and at 1 million subscribers now, but I could always do a couple more. So make sure you subscribe, turn the bell button on for notifications when new videos come out, and check out my daily content on Instagram if you're not already following on me there, and the link is down below. But missing sessions, stating the obvious, is going to slow down your progress, or even result in you not making any progress. And obviously the main thing that you have to be with your training, no matter what you're training for, is being consistent. The last time that I checked, the definition of consistent isn't have a good week training, then miss sessions because you had to work on late, or you had a busier week or whatever, and then miss another session the next again week because you had your auntie's grand's 30th birthday party. If you're not getting the continuity of stacking up the good weeks, then you're just going to spin your wheels and not get anywhere very fast. So no matter your situation, no matter your work schedule, your social life, just listen to me now and you will be able to manage your life and time so much better, so that you're not missing any sessions. And starting off with proper time management, which is the actual fundamental thing that you need to have to be able to fit everything in. And the busier that I get, the more that I realise that the vast majority of people don't actually have a lack of time. They just have a lack of structured time management. This is something that doesn't take any skill or intelligence, and dare I say effort, because it literally just involves you just sitting down, looking at your week, the tasks that you've got to do, and then just working everything in around it. And so many people trick themselves into thinking and feeling that they're busy, but half the time they're not accomplishing anything because there's so much wasted time, whether it be just doom scrolling on TikTok or taking an hour and a half to do a job that could be done in 20 minutes. If you just give yourself a little bit of structure and almost like a sense of urgency to get things done within a set time frame, then you're actually going to find your life so much easier. And I'm going to use myself as an example here, because I work pretty much every single day, and a lot of days are like full workloads, but some days it's maybe just doing little bits and pieces here and there. And right now, I am able to train 6 days a week, and if you know, a lot of my training involves doing an hour drive, or at least an hour drive there and back. And lo and behold, I've still got time to do that whilst running a pretty busy coaching business, along with the other stuff that I'm doing as well. And that is because I have gotten so regimented with my time, and every week's like a copy paste. Although I've not got like a job like a lot of people do, where they know the exact times and places they're going to be every single week and it never change. I've created that for myself within my self-employed environment. I'm so down to detail, I don't piss about and waste time, everything just gets done, dusted in an orderly manner, and I don't just drag the arse out things because I've got a bit extra time. And my sessions just slot into my week piece of piss. It takes no skill or intelligence to just sit down with a spreadsheet and just plan out your week. And if you know that you're going to work 9 till 5 each day, or 8 till 4, and you've got football one night, or you've got something on with the missus, I don't know, just whatever your weekly plans are, just put them all in your spreadsheet, the things that don't change every single week, and then you'll start to see how much extra time that you've got. And this should be particularly easy if you're on the same shifts every week, but if your shifts do change, don't worry, we're going to come to that in a little bit. But get your sessions in a schedule, in a routine, first and foremost. Now, when you're building your schedule, the next thing that I suggest that you do if you're somebody who's susceptible to skipping sessions and maybe just like putting things off, is to get your sessions done as early in the week as possible. If you've got 3 or 4 training days to do and you don't start till the Wednesday, then you're now putting yourself in a bit of a tight time frame to get them all done. Whereas if you start on the Monday, that's like 1 down and you've now got 6 days to catch the other 2 or 3, which is going to be much easier to do, and obviously gives you that little bit more breathing room and space for error. Don't put off just because you can. Just get your sessions done, and that's them just out the way. Don't need to think about it, don't need to worry about getting them in, and if anything did come up later on in the week that would maybe take you away, then you don't have to worry about it because the training's already been done. And I'll also say, get your sessions done as early in the day as possible. It's not any surprise that you get up, go and work a full shift at work, and then can't really be arsed training. Like, yeah, most people are going to feel like that, but there's an easy solution. Get up and go before work, and again, that's it, done, out your brain, don't need to worry about it for the rest of the day. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, but that means I'm going to have to get up early. But if you go at the end of the day, then that's just going to add hours on to the end of the day, and you're going to get to bed and get organised later. And net, you're going to end up with the same amount of sleep or whatever. Whereas if you get up and go first thing in the morning, then you're going to get back home a lot earlier and get to bed earlier. So it just balances itself out. And another positive to doing this is that first thing in the morning, there's going to be very few things that can come up and interfere. And it's actually what I used to do with my work. And I never had to do this, but I used to get up at 5:30 to start my check-ins, and that's because I knew that the odds were between 5:30 and 8 o'clock there'd be nothing that could come up and take me away from it. And it gave me a good chance of a solid 2.5, 3 hour uninterrupted work block.
Quick maths.
And I'm sorry, but I'm not accepting you being a little bitch and being like, oh, I don't want to get up that early. Needs must, just get it done. And getting it done very first thing in the morning is going to be a lot more doable for those of you that are on like flexible changing schedules on a weekly basis, which brings me on to my final point. If you're someone where you don't have a set shift pattern, it can sometimes change each day, each week, times can change, locations can change, and you're one of the few people that maybe can't quite have that sort of set in stone spreadsheet schedule that I think most people should have. What I do with my clients that are in that position is I message them on the weekends and I say, tell me your training days this week. And that's what they do. At the weekend, they plan their next weekend in advance, because at that point they will tend to have their kind of schedule organised. They're at least planning a week ahead, and then they know the exact days and times that they're going to go to that gym the following week. Not just waking up on a Monday morning being like, right, let's get these sessions in some point, shall we? Because when you just have fuck all structure, that is what's just going to lead to just missing so many sessions. And then I know what you'll do. You'll use it as an excuse and you'll be like, oh, but I was busy, but this, but that. There is no excuse for it. And I know for a fact that those of you, let's just say, who miss a session every week, I know for a fact that you will spend at least an hour a week watching Netflix, playing this PlayStation, doom scrolling TikTok, but then I'll turn around and say, oh, I didn't have time for the gym. And that is, I cringe using this word, the sacrifice you need to make. Like fucking, we're now talking about having to sacrifice fucking Netflix. And that's what I do to get the training that I want in, and obviously working around the schedule. I basically forego most of my sitting on the couch time, apart from maybe a couple hours a week. It doesn't really bother me. I'm doing what I want to do. But a lot of people always come back to this, feel like they've got this entitlement to be sitting on the couch by 8 o'clock doing nothing every night. And I'm like, what are we fucking playing at here? It all comes back to time management and being organised and structured with it, and not just like floating through just hoping for the best, because when you do that, you're going to get absolutely fucking nowhere. And I'm not trying to be a dick, and I do understand that there will be occasions where, you know what, you just are too busy and stuff comes up, the schedule's just too much full on. Yeah, you do have to miss the odd session. But that should be the odd occasion and not a weekly basis, because if your life is that chaotic, then again, it's even more reason that you need to be organised and work around it and look for ways to get your training in, whether it be getting up early, going to bed an hour later, planning everything out like down to the T, and making things work rather than just like settling on just mediocre shite. Anyway, I think I've made all the points I made in the last recording, but I've probably just not made them quite as concise because I've just got all raging when I went to start recording this, because I thought I've actually already been through this once before. So make sure you like and subscribe to help my suffering, and please do not miss any sessions. Be better. Simple as that. Don't be an idiot and delete your video files before you've got them uploaded. Catch you in the next one.